Jeremy Hansen here from Fox Valley Technical College for Life on the Farm. Joining me today is Lindsay Rushford. Lindsay, thank you so much for your time today.
Sure, thanks for having me.
Lindsay, we're at an event, but first of all, you work for University of Wisconsin, correct?
Yes, I do.
And what do you do there?
So I'm an outreach specialist with UW Extension, and I work on a program called the Nitrogen Optimization Pilot Program.
Right, and that's what I want to talk to you about today. But we are at a field day, and can you explain what field day we're at?
So we're with a producer-led watershed group called the Muddy Bottom Farmers, and they're here in Fremont, and so they're having this field day to invite local farmers and other community members over to hear about some of the projects they're working on, see a soil pit, and just do kind of an education and interaction day.
I want to talk about your nitrogen optimization project. So what is that?
So Nitrogen Optimization Program is a Wisconsin-funded program that's facilitated by the Department of Ag in Wisconsin. It's an opportunity for farmers to do on-farm nitrogen research. And so the producers and folks involved in this program all have an entirely replicated nitrogen rate trial on their farm that they're kind of themselves.
Right, so it's an actual replicated study. You had mentioned to me a little earlier that you're also looking at some of the effects of cover crops too, right?
Yeah, so it's really up to the producers who are applying for this grant. The Muddy Bottom farmers were interested in looking at their various nitrogen rates, but also looking at that with following a cover crop or not following a cover crop. And so these particular producers were interested in that aspect of nitrogen use.
Right. What are some of the rates of nitrogen that you're looking at in your plots?
So one of them is a zero nitrogen rate, which really scares some producers who are involved in the program, but that's really showing us what the soil can supply on its own. And as we heard from the producers today, they're surprised at what nutrients their soil's already holding. So zero N rate is what they have, and then a standard is business as usual rate. So that's something that the farmer would already be doing on their farm in the first place. And then we're looking at a rate above and below that.
You already mentioned this, but what is the purpose of doing this?
So there are a few different avenues that you could take to answer that. So one of them is just helping farmers find their optimum nitrogen rate. There's a chance that a lot of producers in Wisconsin are applying more nitrogen than they need, and they don't quite know when they're doing that. And so this is a way for each farmer to find out their rate and not over applying fertilizer, not putting in that extra expense. Another reason to do this is to reduce nitrate leaching potential to our groundwater.
So, and final question, you're here today, and I really appreciate that you're here today, but you have other locations, correct?
Yeah. So the program is in its second cycle right now. So DATCAP has allowed us to give out $2.6 million in funding so far, and we have 77 trials across the state.
Oh, wow.
At the moment. And so they are in every corner of the state. They cover crops from cranberries to corn, potatoes, sunflowers, and so it's not just for corn. And these are all producer-led projects.
Yes, what a great story, absolutely. Lindsay, thank you so much for your time and explaining a little bit about what you do and what you're doing out here today.
Sure, thank you.
So for Life on the Farm, I'm Jeremy Hansen.